That's right. We're live, part two, episode 286. It's Bad Weather Fans. Good morning on a Friday. We are doing this very early at 6:04 Eastern Time. Mike Biseglia, Alex Panesowitz, and we are recapping week 1+ of the NBA season. Nets and Knicks. Nets 0-5 on the year. Knicks 2-2. Both disappointing. I would say the Knicks from a loss standpoint, as they were supposed to go 82-0, according to Alex. And the Nets 0-5, but we'll get more into the play of the rookies, which I think is the intriguing part for the Nets. But good morning, Alex, and happy Halloween to
Good
those
morning.
that celebrate.
Happy Halloween. It's nice to see that you wore your Halloween mask to the show. It's very nice of you to dress
Funny
up.
joke.
And we're doing this, like at 6:04 in the morning. And
Dad
I feel
joke
like I have to stay.
for you.
Yeah, it worked though. It hit.
It's
I got to do. It's 50 degrees. You know what I mean? We got to give the degrees and all that stuff the morning shows do. We have to be all cheesy like morning shows, but no.
Well, the night do you want me to give traffic?
Yeah, give traffic on the ones.
I can give traffic for people listening.
Traffic to me, like sidebar before we get into the Knicks and the Nets and everything else involving that. Traffic to me at this stage of the internet and social media is kind of silly to me. I know people still listen, but it's like when you get in your car, you putting on the radio and be like, "What's the traffic?" No, you're putting on your phone and the GPS and
I will.
Waze or whatever you use, and that's it.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I would say, though, I feel that traffic reports are more valuable than score updates. I would know the scores more than the traffic. Like maybe you're making a decision, and I would say, like my dad, who's always like, I don't need it. Like maybe he's interested in it, but just play contrarian with you a little bit.
I don't know. I think scores are a little bit more let's say not important, but I can understand people wanting to see them, hear them more, or just it's part of like you're doing an update on the radio and you're telling the story of the game and what happened. They're like, why not just give the score? You know what I'm saying? It's not like it makes a difference. You know what I mean? I don't remember scores anymore. I just remember how much they won by or lost by or around. When I was a kid, I used to tell you like what was the score of this game, what was the score of that game, the Super Bowl was this score. Now it's like whatever, but I get that more than a traffic thing, because if you're in the car and you listen to the radio or whatever, a podcast, you're not like, what's the traffic? No, you're sitting there staring at your screen in your car that's taking you to the place. Like you're not like, well, oh man, there's traffic on the BQE. I better go a different direction because somebody on the radio told me. It's I don't know.
I understand. All right. So the Nets.
Anyway, shout out to traffic people, though. I don't want to take your job.
The Nets losers against the Hawks.
Dog hair flying
That's 5
around
in a row, and then the Knicks lose on the road in Milwaukee. Bucks, by the way, get another win last night. I don't even think Giannis played, as they improved to 4-1 with a win over the Golden State Warriors. Milwaukee getting contributions all over the place. And we'll start with the Knicks today. We started with the Nets last time, so we'll start with the Knicks this time. And a 2-2 record. Mitchell Robinson might be available tonight versus the Bulls, who are undefeated at 4-0. He practiced. And in Knick land, 2-2. Towns has been disappointing. Brunson's doing his thing. McBride misses a couple of games due to family reasons. You can see clearly when he's not there, the Knicks bench does take a big hit. Not the same. And without Mitch, tread him water here at 2-2. And the overreaction police out all over the place for a Knicks team. And, I'm rooting for them to lose more than anybody in this world, probably outside of Tom Thibodeau, like legit. And I can't sit here and every time they lose, I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather them lose than win. But I know I don't know why I'm like the steady keep. Like I know it's ultimately about what happens in May. So I think there's just been a huge overreaction from a lot of Knicks fans who I think probably in their brains anointed themselves the Eastern Conference champions before the season started. And I think because of that, they're having a hard time seeing losses on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and you know what? There's no undefeated team, ever. So Eastern Conference championship could still be had even if you start 2-2. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything on a long scale of things in the long term. I mean, it does mean something. You want to win every game, especially against Eastern Conference opponents, especially against teams that you're going to need the tiebreakers against and everything like that. But at the same time, it's, you got to relax. They're 2-2. They can go on a 10-game win streak, and then you forget all about this, very easily. They were without 3 rotation players in Mitch, Deuce, and Yabusele against the Bucks. And yeah, Giannis had his moment, but the Knicks were taking care of business pretty easily in the first half of that game. And then is the third quarter of doom, as always. And that wasn't a Tibbs thing. It's just become a thing just with this roster. I don't know what it is after the halftime. Like, they just come out flat every time. And it's very frustrating. So everybody's got to relax. Don't listen to the clickbait articles of the reporters who are trying to stir the pot and Towns is out of shape and this and that. And he's hurt. Okay. I know he was frustrating. He's a frustrating player to watch. Sometimes he looks like he's out of control when he drives the lane, especially, and there's somebody in front of him and he's still driving. It's just like, what are you doing? And you're just making it up as you're going along. It's not graceful. It's very frustrating. But you know what? He is a great player, and he is a perennial all-star, perennial all-NBA player, starting player on the all-star team last year. It's very strange the kind of hate that he gets just on a daily basis. I know he has like very stupid fouls and he's not a very smart player sometimes, but they got to utilize his strengths, and it's a new coach, new system. There's a lot of new stuff there, and the Knicks were shorthanded. So and he's hurt. So everybody just chill.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say.
I would, push back a little bit on the injuries. Everybody has injuries. All these teams have injuries. So if you go up and down a roster every night, you're playing somebody. There's somebody out. There's somebody hurt. There's somebody taking a night off. So I can't, and that's the Knicks too. You mean like these are guys like Mitchell Robinson's always hurt. He never plays. So at some point, I can't use that as an excuse. Well, Mitch wasn't there. Well, Mitch is never there. I mean, when he's there, he's a difference maker. He's a huge part of this team, and defensively and his offensive rebounds, he can impact the game without scoring, right? Like, so I totally get the difference the Knicks are when he is in the game as opposed to out of it. Obviously, he makes a huge impact, and he's probably in his prime, getting into his prime of his career if he could stay healthy. But at the same time, there's always something. He's always out for whatever reason. If it's the ankle, if it's nagging injuries in the past, he's always in some way hurt. So I can't use some of that as an excuse. But to the other parts of it, it's just early in the season. They're going to go on a run. They're going to win games here. I'm more encouraged as somebody that's looking to see the Knicks fail and fail bad, is that I think the Eastern Conference has shown a little more competency in the Bucks and in the 76ers, which has made me feel better for the long term of what's going to happen. I think the Sixers, with their rookie, have shown that they have a little more firepower. Paul George hasn't played yet.
He stinks.
I'm not. Yeah. But if he becomes their 4th or 5th best player, I feel a little bit different if he's their 2nd best player.
That's fair.
And I'm not saying I don't think the Sixers can make a run to the finals, but I feel a little bit better that maybe they could pick off the Knicks in the second round, and it happens. I feel my confidence is growing in the Eastern Conference, seeing the improved play from the Bucks, seeing the improved play from the Sixers. That does make me feel better. I mean, I'm just being realistic with you. But to the Knicks, I think it's early. They'll figure it all out. It's going to be about what happens in May. I think people will look back and say these are if these are problems that persist now, they might come back to rear their ugly head again, or how the saying goes. But the overreaction to me is remarkable, right? Like, it's just,
of course,
it's just
it's something to talk about is really what it is.
I understand, and I do understand that too. Like, I will say, if you're filling, if you have to fill airtime for X amount of hours,
right?
I probably would fall into the same trap and look for things to say too. That's not my job. So
but you wouldn't go to that extent. I mean, you used to work in the business, working at CBS Sports Radio, WFAN, the whole thing, producer. And so you had to plan these segments. I understand, you get it, but you wouldn't go to this depth as a host. I know you, and say, like, make up nicknames about the coach after 4 games, like make up like there's a problem inside, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just,
I don't think there's any of that.
I think it's just silly. It's like, they're 2-2, and you want to be, concerned, and it's fine. And you see some things, you want to bring them up, but like the overreaction is crazy. Sorry, I jumped on you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love it though. I mean, you said this before, and now I see, to your point, what you were talking about when we were doing a couple episodes back, and you were talking about the importance of the Knicks winning
starting fast
early in the starting fast. And I was like, whatever. And I was like, it doesn't, it's about the development of this team throughout the course of a season, how they play. They have too much talent to be bad. There's so many bad teams in the Eastern Conference. They're going to win games. I mean, I think about the Nets playing the Knicks. I'm like, I don't know how that's going to work. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a problem. Now, the Nets do go on these runs, and they've been a little feisty at times, and they come back and they play hard, etc. But their defense is atrocious. I mean, they're giving up like 130 points per game. They have 3 rookies at point, so getting into offense is a problem. If Michael Porter and Cam Thomas aren't scoring, they can't win games or be even close in games. So I'm thinking about these like Nets-Knicks games. It's going to take, Michael Porter going off for 50, Jalen Brunson has an off night, and everything clicks. Right. But yeah, it's like, to be like, I don't know how, in what realm they're going to even be close against a team like the Knicks. It's going to be tough.
Unless the Knicks are resting players or something like that. But I don't think they would rest against the Nets. I think that's one of those games, like, even if it's not a big deal or they want to poo-poo it, then it's no big deal between the Knicks and the Nets. The Knicks don't want to lose to the Nets. They want to make sure that they're for those games. Yeah, no, definitely not. But I want to push back on you a little bit with your points before about how the Eastern Conference has taken a step with the Bucks and the Sixers. You can't on one side of your mouth say how these Knicks games early in the season mean nothing, and then all of a sudden on the other side of your mouth say, well, look at the Bucks and the Sixers winning games. Now the Eastern Conference is stronger than I thought. So you got to pick a lane there.
Well, I can pick both because there's expectations with these teams, and from the eye test on how they're playing, Milwaukee looks better. They look like they're playing like a better team than they were last year.
The third game of the season against 3 rotation players out. I know Ryan Rollins looks like a player, like they found a steal there. And
he had a great night again last night.
Yeah,
and he's developed. He's in his 3rd year in the league, and now he's starting to score. He was at 3 points a game last year. Now it's 18 points a game this year. So you're seeing a leap taken, at least early on, from a guy that you just mentioned who had 27, I think, again, or something. He had a big game again.
He got hot. Yeah,
he had a big game again last night, and I hear what you're saying, and I understand that. And I respect where you're going with it. But for teams that had lower expectations that always have problems, I'm excited to see them better, and that makes me feel good. I mean, it does. I mean, I'm not like, I don't really ultimately care. It's just about the Knicks failing,
right?
And I'm happy about that.
You just want the Knicks to fail.
So if they're playing better and they look like better basketball teams, it's more of a respect thing for the Knicks that I know they can lose and it's not a problem.
Right.
Like for me, I need these teams that I think aren't as good to see them playing better now does make me feel a little bit better. But I'm not sitting here like, oh, the Knicks are in trouble. Oh, like I've said before, the Eastern Conference is wide open, man. Like things can, or in the West even more, crazy things can happen, right? Like the Knicks could go in and lose in the first round. They could fall to the Magic. Something could happen. I would favor the Knicks. I would always put them ahead of these other teams, but they're not immune to losing. That could happen.
Of course, it's sports. That's
and I think even more than ever with the NBA, there's upsets all the time. The Pacers are 0-4 this year. Last year they were off. Remember the Pacers, for Knicks fans that are worried, the Pacers to start the season, and they were bad. Yeah. I mean, the Pacers before they got it going.
They got hot late. They got hot late. That's why we didn't respect them. Yeah, nobody respected them as fans.
What was the Pacers record? They were probably I bet you at some point they were 17-20 or something like that.
Yeah. Then they were the hottest team in the league the last 2 months of the season.
That's how they pulled up to the 5 spot, to the 4 spot.
The regular season does matter somewhat. It's not a glorified preseason like some people like to say, but it doesn't mean everything. It's somewhere in the middle. It's a cumulative thing. But if you get hot towards the end of the season and all you guys are playing and you're not like in the Obi Toppin days of the end of the season where he's getting triple doubles and him and quickly, and it's not real life. Like this is like real life when your Pacers are your Pacers. When the Pacers are all together and they're rolling and they get into the playoffs and they get hot and they got all the way to the game 7 of the NBA finals, and
lost their best player in the first half.
Lost their best player. Yeah. And that was crazy, but it's just championship seasons are never easy. And I know the Knicks have championship aspirations. They have a championship team. They have a championship level team. It's been a long time since we've had a team to root for as fans that are championship level, like that, like this way, not, the mellow year or, last couple of years where you're like, we could have a shot, like it's this is like legit could be the year. That doesn't mean they're going to go 72-10. You know, that means that like they're going to lose some games. They're going to have a rough patch here or there. Just hope that the rough patch is now and not in the playoffs and everybody's healthy and rolling by the end of the season, which is what Mike Brown is trying to do. And Mike Brown is a really good coach. Like, look what he did in Sacramento. I mean, he took that team that hadn't been to the playoffs in like longer than the Jets have been to the playoffs, you know? And he was, so they were 30-52 the year, as I spit all over myself. Sorry. With the Kings, Mike Brown was 30-52 the year before he took over. With him, they were 107-88. And since him, they are 28-28. So he turned that team around, you know, and it's the same roster that they had the year before that he got there. And he made them a legit, you know, playoff team that I thought they could beat the Warriors in the first round. I mean, they lost, but I thought that they could have taken them, you know, had a good run. Like I thought they were gonna be the surprise team of the West. You know, De'Aaron Fox was playing well, et cetera, et cetera. Now they're a joke. Well, not a joke. They're a 500 team. With the Knicks and Mike Brown, you got to give him a little bit of a chance here, and you got to give him a little bit of leeway. Let the guys get healthy. Let them play 25 games or so together and just see how things are going. And I promise you it'll get better. This team is too good. Mike Brown's too good of a coach for it to just be nothing, you know? And I mean, I get it. You know, a lot of Nets fans are going to say, and I've had some comments, I forgot who it was on the post. I could find it. Oh, Mike, the Packers owner, he's at Mike the Hump _. He responded to my post when I was talking about Mike Brown. He goes, major point that you're missing about Mike Brown when he was with the Kings is that Jordy Fernandez was his assistant coach. And that was the reason, of course, in Nets fans' brains of why the Kings were good. Not, you know, so that's all.
I mean, I'm sure
it was all Jordy Fernandez. It wasn't Mike Brown, of course. In the Nets fan brain, it was Jordy that did everything. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think Coach Brown would probably say Jordy was an amazing assistant to have, and they're probably have the ultimate respect. But yeah, which is crazy too that they're both in the same market now. The Pacers started the year, by the way, 16-18. They were 10 and their low point was 10-15. They were 5 games under 500. They were 10-15, so 25 games. That's a quarter plus of the season. They end up with a record of. In the regular season, they end up 50-32. So they got hot.
Run. Yeah,
and
they did.
But they ended up at the 4 seed, and then they played their best basketball at the best time of the year, and that's ultimately helped them propel them into the finals, take it to a game 7 where they come up short. And I think it's just a reminder for anybody. Also, too, there's always an overreaction in the first week of seasons. I see it a lot more with baseball, and even baseball, it's even magnified more because there's twice as many games.
Right.
But, you know, the Mets go 0-3 or they're 4-7 and it's a disaster. And then you look at the Mets this year, they were 20 plus games over 500, the best team in baseball to start the first 2 months of the season. And they had a horrific ending where they missed the playoffs. They basically become a 500 team at the end of the year, standings wise, but are, you know, 20 games under 500 for the last 100 plus games. I mean,
the seasons were opposite.
You have to keep
the last
you have
years.
to you have to keep it in perspective.
Yeah.
On the net side of things, they're 0-5. I don't think the record as much as a problem for people. I think it's the play of the rookies. We haven't really seen Drake Powell yet, and we haven't seen Danny Wolf at all. We saw Powell for a split second. The Nets have played 3 rookies, all at point. Nolan Traore has basically got no run, a little bit here and there in games, but it's been Saraf starting and then Yegor Dioman coming off the bench. But is he even really playing point guard? I have seen all minutes of these games so far, and I would say it's alarming that Yegor has not taken a 2-point shot. And it was addressed in the post game to Jordy, who talked about it and he said he's got to figure it out. And I don't know if it's an overcompensation from him wanting to prove to people that he can shoot. He missed a lot of threes in the last couple of games, but he clearly has a nice jumper. He can make shots. And he has a nice feel with his passing. But his ball handling is not good. He can't get into the paint. He can't get by weaker defenders. They had Luke Kennard on him whole game versus Atlanta, and he didn't get at least attempt to get into the paint. And that was alarming. He's got to start doing that. I mean, he's got to start doing that. He's also 19 years old, and he's a project.
He's played 5 games in the NBA. Yeah.
So it's a balance of, you know, to net fans who are looking at things in a different prism, right? Like Knicks fans, it's about wins and going to the championship. With the Nets, it's about young player development. And
No, we
it's
were just
only
there.
a couple.
I get it.
So
I get how you feel. Yeah.
it's the same overreaction, but it's at a different lens of what their expectations are with different viewpoint. And for me watching, I'm like, Yegor hasn't been good enough. I know people were shitting on Saraf. I went on Twitter for the first time in a while, and I was like, he's averaging 2.6 points per game, 3.1 assists, 2.5, whatever it is. But for me, like, I've watched him play, and I can see I can see more potential with him, with his aggression, his ability to get into the paint, his ability to pass. His shot is not good. I mean, his shot is bad. But you could like see that when he figures it out a little more, he could be a good NBA point guard. I haven't seen, when I watch Yegor yet, like, I haven't seen where that could go. And I think that's my viewpoint. I think it's scary for Net fans that the 8th pick in the draft hasn't taken a 2-point shot. He's got to start doing that.
But scary? Is it really scary? Or is it just, like you said, it's 5 games into a career?
And it's a weird stat. It's a weird stat.
It is. But you know what? Nobody thought he had not you, but nobody thought he had a good jump shot. And he looks like he has a really good jump shot. So maybe his scouting report was terrible. Just clearly, like, it's all the opposite. They said he had no shot and he has a shot and he hasn't gone inside. But it's weird.
He's got to do it though. He's got to
drop him in fantasy. I had him in fantasy. I did drop.
There's no point.
Yeah,
I would not.
I mean, I was getting some threes, and I was like, all right. But then there was one bad game. I'm like, all right, enough.
Well, it's the inconsistency with rookie players that he's going to have some good games,
right?
And he's
a good spot start.
He's going to have. I mean, I'll tell you who to pick up, but he's probably not there. Is Michael Porter.
Yeah,
no, he can score. I mean, he can score at all 3 levels. He's a crazy scorer. I mean, he's better than Cam Johnson is offensively. That was a good trade for
Johnson.
the Nets.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That was a good trade for the Nets because they're still tanking.
Yeah.
And and they got an unprotected 1st-round draft pick in 55 years. But he's not changing wins and losses. He's a better player, and they got the lottery pick out of it. So that was a good trade.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to give you a veteran to turn it around, to get some buckets and help out and not be. You can't have 5 rookies starting and have 0 veterans on the team that can get a bucket. You know what I mean? You need some guys there. It's what the Sixers did during the process era. That was one of their biggest mistakes, is that they just had a ton of young players, rookies, and nobodies, and they didn't have anybody that could play, that can teach these guys how to be professionals. And you just had a bunch of kids on a professional team, and they just kept tanking and losing and tanking and losing. And when they started bringing in guys that were veterans, to be on that roster is when they turned it around. I know they struck gold on Embiid and then Ben Simmons at the beginning, sure,
right?
But like guys like Okafor, I think he would have been a little bit better of a player had he had a veteran presence around to help him, because he was clearly an immature person, but he had all. You don't go from being this dominant player at Duke to then all of a sudden being out of the NBA. You know what I mean? Like, I get like there are busts and stuff, but I didn't think that he was going to be like a bust. I thought at worst he'd be a rotation player in the NBA. It's surprising that he's already out of the NBA.
That's a bad one. I mean, he had a stint with the Nets. Remember, they brought him on early. I mean, he was okay, but ultimately nothing. And that's why you just don't.
But you need guys like the Nets did it right by getting professionals on the team as well. You got you got Cam Thomas, you got Michael Porter Jr., you got Nick Claxton. You got guys that could teach people how to be professionals. I know they might not be the smartest people on the court. Their IQ level maybe a little bit low on these podcasts that Michael Porter Jr. is on and things like that. But
he can score.
Like, he could score, and he could teach people how to be professional, even just by osmosis and just being there and watching him, how he prepares and things like that.
Yeah, the Nets have the youngest roster in the league. I mean, which makes sense when you draft 5 rookies, 3 of which are 19 years old. And the veterans aren't exactly old, like Cam Thomas is 23, right? So even though he's been in the league Nick Claxton's been in the league for 7, he's in the 7th year.
And how old is he?
Couldn't believe that. Oh, he's probably 26.
Oh, 26.
I think disappointing. So it's funny because the Nets make that comeback versus the Hawks. They lose Trae Young, who was hurt, who got hurt.
Yeah.
But they did it not with
26. Ruby, sorry, my dog's.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
She said, Knicks, what was that? Knicks are horrible. Thank you.
That's what she said. Dog. Ruby, stop it.
What was that? Mike Brown needs to be fired. Wow. All right.
Ruby,
thanks for your call. That the Nets went with the the Nets made their comebacks with not the rookies. They made it with it's okay, Alex. It'll be all right. The dog barks. Big deal.
Here.
It's a big deal. I think it adds, honestly, to this.
To the real life.
What's that?
The real lifeness.
Yeah, we're live. You're in a house. Like, things happen, right?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But the Tyrese Martin and Jalen Wilson were the guys that helped make the comeback. And Martin played well. Credit to him. He's been really good. I think it's disappointing that when you make these comebacks and Jordy's like, I want to win this game, and he went with guys he thought could win, and it wasn't the people you're putting your chips in your future. It's hard to watch.
What was also weird, seeing Porzingis in red. Like, I know he's been on other teams, but just seeing him I know the Wizards had red, but like, you know what I mean? Like that Hawks uniform is just like strange. I don't know. It doesn't look like it matches for him. I don't know.
Well, he was weird the way he played. He either at some points looked great or washed. And I kept like waffling on, is he done? And then I'm like, no, he's not. And then I would see another play. I'm like, he's cooked. And then I'd see another play. I'm like, oh no, he's still good.
Yeah.
And he just kind of waffled back and forth.
Right.
But he's, that the Hawks have a lot of athleticism, and they'll be better than their record shows. I believe they'll get better as the season progresses.
Is Trae Young hurt, or is he bad? I know.
Well,
he left the game, but is he
the MRI, nothing ACL, so that's good. That's good news for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still think has to get an MRI to see how much.
Got it.
He's lingering on the season.
Are you giving him the MRI, or you're off that day?
Am I doing the MRI? No, I'm not on the schedule that day.
Okay. Yeah.
I've never given somebody an MRI. Have you? Have you ever had an MRI? Have I?
I have. I mean, I broke my foot twice.
I've had an MRI. Yes, I have.
I've had CAT scans, MRIs. I've had a lot of health issues in my life. Not bad, but just like broken bones and concussions and things like that. Like a lot of stuff like that. So
I did. I had
it all.
One MRI. I had a pinched nerve in my neck.
Yeah.
And it impacts my back and hand. And I remember sitting in there, that nerve was so bad. That was 15 minutes in that tunnel. It was hard.
I just love how when they go in that tunnel, like, what kind of music you like? And then you tell them, and then you can't hear the music. It's just like, come on. How can, like, okay, there's a song. You just got to find a dot on the ceiling and just like stare at it. I'm like,
a lot of thinking.
Yeah, a lot of thinking.
And then, a lot of thinking.
It's
a lot of
terrible.
Thinking going on. Anyway. Oh, go ahead. No.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I was gonna say your Pareto meter.
Yeah.
0 is it's off. 10 is you're taking your shirt off, chugging beers, and having fun. Where are you?
Knicks parade is still on. 10.
So where are you in the Pareto meter?
We're still going. 10. We're still going. And the other thing we talked about on the show a couple times was who was going to win more games this month. The Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets. So far, Knicks is 2. Or have 2, the Nets have 0, the Jets have 1, and the Giants have 1. So the Knicks play tonight, so they have a chance to win the race on Halloween.
Yeah,
I hope they do. But surprising. The Nets didn't win one of the first 5. I thought they'd win one of them.
Well, their schedule, they did have a hard schedule, and they're bad. When you're bad and your schedule is hard, that's not a good sign. That's not a good way to win.
That Hawks game, they had to win. I mean, Claxton had those bunnies to make it close, and it just that was a tough loss for you guys.
So weird is the Hornets game was they got killed. The Cavs game, they were down 26. They cut it to 1 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
They play hard, man. Yeah,
the Spurs game, they're down 20 plus. They then take a 5-point lead in the fourth quarter and lose it. And the Spurs are good. They're 5-0.
Wemby,
then it's a back to
hear of him. It's pretty good. That guy Wemby.
Then it's a back-to-back with the Rockets on a Monday. That's a hard game for anybody. They get crushed,
right?
And then they come home, and they're down again 20 to the Hawks, and they cut it to 3 with a minute left and cannot make anything around the basket, and it's just infuriating.
Yeah.
Let's look at this. Let me play this game with you real fast.
Sure.
And we can wrap things up. Where will the Nets win their first game?
Ooh. Okay, go ahead.
Sunday at home, 6:00 versus the Sixers.
Depends who plays, but no.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like with Philly, it's like
Philly's that could be you can pick them off, but let's see.
Home Monday versus the T-Wolves.
No.
Wednesday at Pacers.
No.
Pacers are 0-4.
That's even more reason why they're going to win.
Friday home Pistons.
No shot.
Possibly. They're better at home.
Pistons are going to
I will
smoke
say
them.
they are, from what I have seen, they are much better at home.
It is the NBA, and anything can happen any day, but I just not the Pistons. I'll give you the
I would
Pacers
sign
before
up
the
for
Pistons.
this. I would sign up for this. So
Knicks,
hold on. 6, 7, 8. Hold on. 6, 7, 8, 9. Nets are 0-9. They invade the Garden on Sunday the 9th. I would sign up for 0-9. That's their first win because it would do so much. One, the Nets are horrible.
Yeah.
And a win 0-9 Nets beating the Knicks. You think it's bad losing to the fucking
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I know. Losing to the Bucks. Yeah.
Losing to the Bucks on the road, which is a tough game. You're in Milwaukee. The Bucks are playing well. But you're a home game versus the lowly 0-9 Nets. That would be that would make tough. My year if really that happened.
Yeah.
Oh my really God. Tough. Like the Knicks are, let's say they're 9 games in, they're 6-3 or 5-4. Let's say they're 6-3, right? So 5-4. And they go back to 500 after 10 and they lose to the Nets. Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's home versus the Raptors. Home versus the Raptors. That could be a win.
That's that you can pick
at Magic, probably not. At Wizards,
yes.
Wizards are much.
You got to beat the teams like the Wizards if you're going to win any games this year.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Washington
Wizards aren't so bad. I mean, they have some players, but they're like the same team as you. So
they have more talent. They're 1-4, but they have much more talent.
I mean, they have Middleton, and I don't know if McCollum playing yet. I don't think.
Yeah, he's playing, but they're even like Sarr, the young center.
Yeah, I like.
They just have guys. They have more guys.
Sarr better than Risaccia or whatever his name is from the Hawks, the number 1 pick. I know he was the number 1, and
he didn't look that. Yeah, he wasn't. I would say so. Yes, from what I've seen, I haven't watched enough of these guys, and don't get on me.
Go inside Wizards,
But I would say so based on my opinion.
That was a weird draft. Yes. Very strange draft, but. Yeah, I think the Nets can win a couple games there. I mean, maybe they'll win 2 of those that you were talking about, but I think
that one. I want 0-9 win. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that would be great.
It would be for you, not for me. But the Knicks are not going to take the Nets game lightly. They can act like it's not a big deal, but if the Nets are coming into the Garden at 0-9,
they don't want to be
they're not going to say it. It was just another game, but they're going to go full steam ahead in that game. They're injured players are playing. It's going to happen.
What have you made of Josh Hart's play so far?
I think he's hurt. I think his finger is
he can't shoot.
He can't shoot. He has a hurt middle finger that is just not going to get better. It's like swollen, and for a while, I guess it's not going to get better, especially for playing. And I just don't think he's right. But I commend him for playing through.
He's that kind of player. He's not going to. Yeah,
he's not going to sit, and he's going to play full steam ahead. He's still going to do all the little things, grab a bunch of boards. He's just not going to be able to shoot very well. I know he hit a 3 the other night in Milwaukee. That was wide open in the corner. You better hit that.
He's like 1 for 5. It wasn't. He made a shot, but yeah.
But it's not exactly Josh Hart from the Sixers series a couple of years ago where he's popping threes and he just got hot at the right time. So I love Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart is a player. I think he's going to give it all, and he embodies what a New York Knick is. And people hating on him it's just not right. He has his issues. He's not the perfect player. You could find a hole in anybody's game. You could find a hole in LeBron's game. But Josh Hart is what he is. He's an energy guy. He's the heart and soul of the team. And, the Knicks are better off with him than without him.
When the Knicks traded for him, and
that was a good clip. That was a good we should do that as a short. That was a good one right there.
You're more than welcome to. Yeah. Go for it. I thought I agree. I dislike Josh because of the anti-net material that he was provided. But yeah, I agree with you. Everything from a basketball standpoint. And
he's your Dinwiddie guy. He's your Dinwiddie. How I hated Dinwiddie, I think he's your Dinwiddie. Like how you hate Josh Hart.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't hate Josh Hart at all. I think he is
because he's actually a good person.
I think he's a great person. I think he's done. Okay. No, I do. I do. I think if he was a net, I'd love him. I think I would, and I think he brings energy. He brings a tenacity. I saw it right away when the Knicks traded for him. He brought a different level to the organization that has helped. I think, for him, as you mentioned, though, there's limitations, and it'll get to the playoffs, and it'll be the same problem and the same conversations of Josh can't shoot. He's scared to shoot. This is a big spot. What do you do? Should we bring in Deuce? Should we have him on side because he can knock down a jumper? But Then with Deuce, you lose all the intangibles that you talked about. I mean,
right.
These are the conversations. These are the reality. These are championship level conversations of nuance, move in and out. But yeah, as far as what you're saying now, he does also seem like and I kind of feel this way in a lot of things that I do. It's like when your confidence is there, you feel like nobody can stop you and you're unstoppable. But then when it's lost, it's like, it's almost like his game to me is like a golfer where he's on. It's unbelievable. But when that shot's off, when that shot's off, it's like, it's just
he's not shooting
it's not,
it.
it's not the
trying.
Same.
Yeah. But yeah, I hear you. But I think it's also Knicks fans could take solace in the fact that Tibbs isn't here anymore. I know he gets a lot of hate, but I'm saying from this regard that he's not going to keep forcing Josh Hart out there. That's not his guy.
Right.
Mike Brown doesn't have guys yet. It's he's going to play who's the best player at the time. The lineup's going to be Mitchell Robinson, Towns, OG, Mikal, and Brunson, and then the second unit's going to be Hart and Deuce and Yabusele and Clarkson and Huck Porty, and you're set. And that's great. So you don't have to rely on Josh Hart, unless there's injuries, down the road, which there will be. Hopefully there's not at bad times. So you don't have to rely on him like Tibbs was, where he just keeps putting him out there, keeps putting him out there. I do love the fact that they're playing Brunson off ball a little bit more, and Mikal is basically like pseudo point guard, or at least bringing the ball up a lot. And I do love the way Mikal Bridges has played this season. He looks like a different player. He looks like he has more energy. He looks like he's more comfortable. I know it was a tough year last year. You trade in the middle of the season, and then you think middle of the offseason, and then you think that you have this roster set. And then all of a sudden the Towns trade happens, and now it's like, where do I fit in here? And then the whole season, and he's criticizing the coach, and we're going public with it. It was a rough year, and then getting the weight of the trade on his head, it's a lot. And now it's like, you got the extension, you're Nick, new coach, relax. And he looks like a completely different player. I know it's not the playoffs yet, but he looks like it's going to be a good season for him.
Yeah, I mean, he had a bad year. He was a better player in Brooklyn. He was a better player in Phoenix, and then he didn't show why you gave up 5 first-round draft picks for him. And I think the more that the trade dissipates in a sense of that it happened years ago. I mean,
right.
I mean, some of these, the Nets still have the 2027 first-round pick unprotected, the 2029 first-round pick unprotected, the 2031 first-round pick unprotected. So when you get to 2030, nobody's going to be thinking about that anymore. It's just going to be like, oh, yeah. Oh, the Nets still have that Nick pick? Oh, yeah, that was from the Mikal Bridges trade 7 years ago.
And the Knicks had 3 championships, and who gives a damn about the pick, So,
well, I will say this: you will not have 3 championships by 2030. I feel confident in that.
3 of the next 4 years titles from the Knicks. You don't think so?
Yeah, they went 50 fucking years without 1, and now they're going to win 3 in the next 4 years.
Well, that's what happened to the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors had 1 championship with Kareem.
They don't have Steph Curry. They don't have Steph Curry
or Wilt, not Kareem. And so,
what's up, my guy's name? Mikey
Coin Snatch. Yeah,
Mikey Coin Snatch. Who's better, Steph Curry all time or Jalen Brunson?
So anyway, I do think that the Knicks are a better team now, and I do think they'll be fine. But I have to ask you the question before we go.
Yes, I was going to say you didn't ask it. Let's end the show with this.
So every episode, I'm asking Mike, who has of the 5 rookies, who has the highest stock right now? Go.
I would say Ben Surratt.
Okay.
I feel confident in that, and this is the most confident I've felt in an answer, because his playmaking, his ability to get into the paint, and his he has some bad fouls because he's like he has had some bad fouls. Like I'll give one for an example. Porzingis driving the paint. Someone passes him the ball. I can't remember who. He has a dunk. There's nothing you can do. But he goes down the middle, or he just slaps his arm, and I'm like, what was the point of that? Right. Either you can't even try to foul him like it's the playoffs. You got no choice. Take him down. No easy baskets.
No easy.
There's nothing you can do, and he just gives away a foul, and it's just stuff. I'm like, Ben, what are you doing?
Sounds like a Karl-Anthony Towns move right there.
Yeah, it was just like, just let him dunk and let's keep it moving. But
it's effort, I would say, and IQ right there. Yeah.
But he's 19. He's 19. It's his first 5 games in the league.
Yeah.
I've been doing this thing.
Yeah.
I've been doing this thing now where I look at guys that are playing really well, and I look at their first years in the league because I'm just trying to give myself, maybe it's a coping thing, to see the rookies and see guys like, oh, that guy's averaging 20. Like I look at Joe Johnson. I gave this example. 6-time All-Star, very good NBA player, fringe Hall of Famer.
Right.
He averaged 6 points per game as a rookie in Phoenix. And then he, at points in the league, was like an unstoppable scorer. But he averaged 6 points.
In Phoenix, that team was loaded.
True. So I understand that. He wasn't going to get as much run. Fair enough.
With Sean Marion and those guys.
Steve Nash. And yes, I totally understand. Totally true. But I just look at him like, okay. Then he got traded to the Celtics. I know this trade. He got traded to the Celtics. No, he was a Celtic. Excuse me. He was on Boston as a rookie and then got traded to Phoenix. The Celtics drafted him. They traded him to Phoenix for Tony Delk and Rodney Rogers because Boston was trying to.
Delk. Wow. What a
Tony
name.
Delk and Rodney Rogers went in that trade.
I've heard that in a while.
And Boston got more depth for their playoff run and gave up one of their young players. Then Joe goes to Phoenix, Atlanta, Boston, or Brooklyn. The rest of
Atlanta he took off. He took off in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He was one of the big,
became a star. Yeah.
He was one of the big free agents in the 2010 class that the Knicks ended up with Amari and then got Melo a year later. But
so Boston drafted him. He was scoring. So little nuance there. I knew that trade. Okay,
that's okay. But your thoughts on Saraf and the rookies and this, that, and the other thing, and looking up other players' first years is kind of how some Jets fans feel with Aaron Glenn. It's like, we're 1-7, but you have
to,
look at Jimmy Johnson, look at Bill Parcells, look at Bill Belichick, look at all these great coaches, look at Dan Campbell. They were terrible in their first couple of years, and then they turned it around. So you can't just keep firing coaches. You can't just keep trading rookies. You have to sometimes give some people time. Right. And it's really difficult in the NBA because these players are coming from other countries. They're coming from other leagues. So you're not watching them in college. It's even harder. Yeah. And they're only playing 1 year in between high school and going to the NBA that it's really hard to judge them, but you have to. So it's like, do you hold on to these guys and maybe they'll become Frank Ntilikina, or do you hold on to these guys, or do you trade them and they become SGA, who was traded like twice, So
I know,
maybe 3 times, right? He was traded on draft day too. So it's insane, like the way the NBA is now. But you have to recalibrate your brain of, this guy been in the NBA 3-4 years. He stinks. Well, he's 20.
None of us have patience.
No, but at the same time, you can't sit around and wait for these guys forever because they might be Kevin Knox. You know what I'm saying? You don't know like what's going to happen. It's really difficult. And, that's why these guys get paid so much money. And that's why these NBA execs get their job insurance by trading for a bunch of draft picks. And then they just sit on them and be like, all right.
Well, I think the frustrating part, though, if you're a Net fan, at least, is you see guys like Dylan Harper having 14, 4-4.
He looks good.
VJ Edgecombe, 22, 5-6. Like, you see that, and you see the instant gratification and how well they're playing. And then you're like, man, we ended up with the 8th pick, and we haven't seen much out of our guys yet. And then there's so much investment in there that it's hard. But I agree with, it doesn't mean that anything yet. It's still way too early.
Right. But sometimes you can tell. God. Sometimes you can tell. Like, you can tell VJ's a player because there's guys like...
Well, there's jealousy there.
Yeah, well, that too. But you can tell he's a player because like guys like Halliburton or Donovan Mitchell come out and they're not lighting the world. They're playing really great as young players, and you're like, wow, why could But you're like, well, look, we got Obi Toppin, we got this guy. They're showing flashes too, but it's like really like guys like these guys can play a lot better than him. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get what you're saying. So
Bad Weather Fans, episode 286. We're streaming this live. Don't forget to hop onto our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there for more Bad Weather Fans content. And Knicks play tonight versus the Chicago Bulls, who are 4-0 on the season. A bit of a surprise start for them, but they could end up 30
I'm going on
and 50.
Sunday, actually, to the Knicks game. Playing the Bulls again on Sunday at home.
Nice.
Wife bought me the tickets for my birthday. That's next Friday on the 7th. So I'm going Sunday. I just found out last night. So we bought the tickets last night. It was great.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Enjoy. Well, yeah, definitely enjoy that. Have fun going to the game. And Nets play on Sunday. It's Kids Day, Kids Night versus these Sunday games, though, are tough.
Sunday at what time? Like at
6 o'clock.
Oh, that's not so bad. But yeah, no, it is hard. It is hard because Sunday night also, you don't want to worry about basketball. You want to like football, and then by the end of the day, you have it on in the background while you're doing your thing with your family and stuff like that. When you have kids.
Well, the Nets played the Spurs at 2 Eastern on Sunday, and the Giants were playing the Eagles. So I had to have 2 games on at the same time, and it like here for me at least, I can't watch both. If I'm watching
one, basketball as a secondary. The basketball is like a first.
You have to like football. Right. You can take your head up and like.
Yeah, because it's a play. You know, you play and you wait 2 minutes, and you wait to play.
A 2-minute drill.
Yeah. So, no, I get it.
Man,
it's like when I used to play video games in college. You were able to like eat a sandwich or smoke something or whatever while you're playing Madden. It's like in between plays. It's like wait. Yeah, okay, go next play. Okay, go. But you're playing like 2K or something else, and you can't. I can't stop. So
man, imagine if it was hockey. It'd be even worse, right, Alex?
Yeah, it would be. It would be boring.
Bad weather fans. Episode 286. We went live, and we'll see y'all next week. Take care, Alex.
Have a good weekend.